This is actually my first presentation or speech. My name is John, um, and my story is actually quite this kind of experience everyone's already had in their life. Uh, mine's about the day I got my driver's license, and it was such a aggravating and just nerve-wracking experience for me because I'm actually the youngest person in my grade. My birthday is December 20th. It was like always, oh, you're so young. Why are you in our grade? Like, shouldn't you be a junior? And so, and also everyone when I was in high school had already gotten their driver's license in their junior year. And so I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm like, I got like another year because I have to already wait 6 months before I can even take the test. So it was just super aggravating for me. And after that, like, I finally get my date scheduled, and so it's like already mid-year, and I'm like, all right, great. I have to wait until December. So it's like I've already waited a whole year before I can even take my test. And I'm like, I'm gonna start school in my senior year. I don't even know what to do. Like, I want to just be independent. I want to go out there. I want to have fun with my friends. I want to be able to like not have to ask my mom to just drive me everywhere because it's super embarrassing showing up to parties and people be like, "Why? What? Your mom's here?" And so it's like, thanks, So then I'm waiting, and it's like, so I call like right before school starts, and I'm calling this hotline, the DMV hotline in Connecticut, and it's like, I'm waiting, and they're like, all right, well, you can take the test, but it's all the way in Enfield, and I live in Westport, Connecticut, which is like all the way down here by New York, and Enfield's right on the border of Massachusetts, so it's like 2-hour drive, wait 6 months. Yeah, okay. And so I'm like talking to my mom. I'm like, Mom, please, like, can we just do this? Like, and she's already fed up already with having to drive me and everywhere and stuff. Cause she's, I mean, granted, I am, the better son, whatever. But she just like didn't want to have to deal with all my riffraffness and all that, all the crazy stuff I've always been doing. And so she's like, fine, just go. We'll take you. Great. So I get to the DMV. And it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, yes, I get to take the test, but I'm like nervous and all that. And there's always that line, you're waiting in that line, and everyone's just like frustrated. Everyone hates to be there, but I'm like, yes, I get to take this test. I can't wait. And I go there, and they have like, it's not just the driver's test. It's not just the driver's test. You have to do the written part. You have to do like your eye exam. You have the hearing exam. They have you sit in front of a computer, like pressing buttons and test your reflexes and stuff. And I'm like, this is like really intense. So I go and I finally finish all the exams, and I'm sitting in this room waiting to take the driver's test. And the guy's like, I'm sitting there, and that was the most nerve-wracking part of the whole thing, because it's like, I'm like almost done, and it's like the most exaggerated part is like intense 10 minutes, and so I'm like waiting there, and the guy calls me up, and I'm sitting in the car, and he has me go around. He's like, all right, let's get out of the parking lot. And I'm sitting there driving, and I'm like, all right, am I doing everything right? I go out of the parking lot, he's like, take a left, and we're driving down this road. And as we're driving down the road, I notice that the light's starting to turn yellow. I'm like, oh God, do I go? Do I stop? What's going on? Like, is he looking at me? And so I'm like getting ready to like go through the light, and it starts to turn red, and I'm like, yes. So I slow down, and I'm like, all right, sitting there, I'm like, all right, looking at the guy, like trying to just keep my calm. And he's like, okay, I want you to take a left, and we're going down the road. And he's like, all right, you see the side road over here? I want you to go into the next lane, and I want you to turn off, and we're gonna practice your K-turn. So I'm sitting there, I look in my side view mirror, I look in my rear view mirror, I turn, and I get onto the side road, and I stop, and I'm like, all right, K-turn. So we do the K-turn, I'm super nervous. And when we go back, he's like, all right, let's go back, we're gonna have you back into a spot, and that'll be the end of your test. So we go, I get to the spot, and I'm like, thank God he didn't ask me to parallel park, because that was the hardest thing. I thought it was like just being able to just like turn in and go out. It was so aggravating. But I was like, yes, okay, don't have to do that. So he has me back into the spot, and I'm sitting there. He's like, all right, you've completed your test. Is there anything you noticed that you did wrong? I'm like sitting there. I'm like, uh-oh. I mean, I did everything. I stopped. I did the K-turn. I turned. And he's like, did you check your blind spot? I was like, oh God. right? I'm freaking out. I'm like, he's not gonna give me my license. I'm not gonna be able to go to school with I'm not gonna be able to drive to school. You know, I'm just gonna have to wait a whole another 3 months because I can't take the test. It's like, this is ruined. Everything. It's like, all right, well, that was that was the only thing you did wrong. So I'll let you pass, but you know, make sure you look in your blind spot. So I'm like, yes, like finally, I don't have to wait another day. I don't have to have my mom drive me anywhere. And I go and we get it printed out, and I'm like, oh, great. We get to the car. I'm like, so can I drive? And my mom's like, are you kidding me? You're like 16. You're not driving home. So I had to sit in the driver's side, the passenger side until we got home. It was pretty funny.
That's a climactic ending. Yes.